Hello everybody, video here for you today. This is the retro no-cap recap of the Curse of Oak Island Season 8 Episode 16 called Leather Bound, originally aired March 2nd, 2021. If you missed any of my recaps of previous and future episodes, there's a link to my Oak Island playlist in the upper right. Let's get into it. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Previously, on the Curse of Oak Island, people have been looking for an incredible treasure for 230 years. Over the previous 2 months in Season 8, the team has uncovered a stone feature that is possibly a ship's wharf, or maybe just a road, that was hidden under the 4 feet of water and several more feet of sediment, which have been removed in the swamp. Branching off of this feature and going north along the eastern line of the triangle-shaped swamp is a cobble path that was first found in Season 8 but was explored much more in depth in Season 12. Rick and Marty are meeting with archaeologists Aaron Taylor and Miriam Emerow to get their assessment so far after doing a lot of hand excavation of the features. Aaron says they haven't found a definitive end to it yet, so he'd like to keep exposing more of it. As of now, they have uncovered 400 feet of it. Marty himself mans the excavator to get started on that. He uncovers a new section, and Steve Guptill confirms that the cobble there is 1.5 feet above sea level, the same elevation as the rest of it. Meanwhile, in the Money Pit area, the team is continuing the investigation near the C1 Caisson location after it provided evidence of something gold-colored in a cavern or tunnel wall. Last episode's C5 borehole produced possible evidence of a tunnel at 89 feet. The new borehole is C4.5, 2.5 feet west of C5, as the team tries to verify that a tunnel is going in that direction. At 87.5 feet deep, the core sample brings up wood from the top of a tunnel, so almost certainly the same structure. The transition shot to the next scene shows the location of the borehole C4.5. The tunnel appears to go west, but since this shot is not north aligned, it's not directly to the left. It would be more like towards the yellowish trees from the drill rig. Back in the swamp, Marty is continuing to excavate it along the right side of the triangle-shaped swamp. I don't recall noticing this on my original viewing of this episode, but check out the rock just right of center bottom. It looks like a skull, but also has what looks like cave painting art that could be Bigfoot or just a human. I'm sure it's just because of the angle and I'm only seeing the one eye. Humans tend to recognize things as familiar shapes. For example, this is the supposed face on Mars captured by NASA first in 1976 and then again in 2001. Archaeologist Liz Michaels says they have been finding larger chunks of coal on this end of the stone road and speculates that it could be related to a later building date that involved topping off the stones. Aaron agrees that it's very possible. Aaron finds a piece of a notched leather strap that he says might be a watch or boot strap. Narrator Robert Clotworthy reminds us that earlier in Season 8, the team found a leather boot heel deep inside borehole 8B in the Money Pit area. It dated as far back as the 1400s. Rick and Gary arrive on Lot 25, one of the lots owned by Samuel Ball, former slave turned conscript for the British Army in the Revolutionary War, which made him a free man. Turned one of the wealthiest landowners in Nova Scotia. He was named as one of the 3 men that discovered the original money pit shaft in an early publication, but most accounts named John Smith instead. Ball would eventually own 9 lots on Oak Island and more on the mainland. The House Foundation area is a protected landmark of Nova Scotia, but lead archaeologist Laird Niven was given permission to investigate there, and he has improved recovery of previously marked metal objects. The first find is what Gary thinks is a musket ball slag, the excess when making your own from a mold. Gary doesn't know for sure what this is, but says it reminds him of the back of a pocket watch. Charles and Doug travel 60 miles northeast to visit leather expert Joe Landry at the Dawson Print Shop in Halifax. Joe identifies the leather strap as cowhide due to the thickness. He agrees that one would think watch strap due to the shape, but it's too thick for that. He suspects it to be off of a ledger book of some type. Joe says that he has experience with those types of books from his time in Europe. He says that those are usually for keeping an inventory or ship's log, and that the ones he dealt with were all from the 1600s. They will get DNA testing on the leather and test for tannins used in making the leather that would give them a country of origin. Back on lot 25, the next metal detection find is a single loop flat button that Gary says would be on a jacket. He gives 1750 to 1850 as a date range. He goes on to say that if it has a British military design, that could be linked to Samuel Ball. In the swamp, Rick finds a piece of pottery between the stones. Aaron tests it for stickiness with his tongue, after rinsing the piece, of course, which is a sign of earthenware, which goes back to 1604, since that type did not require a kiln to be as hot. There is stickiness. He also says it looks very crude, which is another sign that it's an earlier date. Rick wonders why just that one piece, and Aaron says it's almost like they were cleaning up after themselves as they went along. Miriam adds that the fact that there are almost no artifacts is just as telling as if there were a bunch of them. Rush carbon dating is in on the wood from the tunnel or tunnels at approximately 90 feet down, drilled into from multiple new boreholes in the money pit area. Singular or multiple, no tunnels in that area at that depth have been documented by any searcher group nor anyone else. Carbon dating comes in likely percentage ranges, and the first is 1726 to 1813, the earlier being 69 years before the discovery of the money pit. The second range is 1648 to 1694, the earlier being 147 years before the money pit discovery. Craig explains that they don't know if it's one tunnel or if it's multiple and possibly going into several different directions. They will keep drilling to try to make sense of it. The next borehole is BC3, and they again hit wood at close to 90 feet deep. I'll be continuing retro no-cap recaps of Season 8 this summer while awaiting Season 13, which will likely begin in November. All other seasons and episodes are in my OKM playlist already done. I'm also doing no-cap recaps of The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch Season 6 as those new episodes air. as well as retro no cap recaps of season 2 through 4. Seasons 1, 5, and the aired episodes of season 6 are all done already and are in that Skinwalker Ranch playlist. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment. Sempre avanti.